Hello, and welcome to Schedules Plus Tutorials. Today we are going to take a look at how to create a voice message that you can send to a single person or a group of people or a listing that you've created through People Filter. First, let's take a look at how to find the voice messages option in Schedules Plus. When you go to People, Messages, Voice Messages, that is where you can create new messages to send. You will see here in our navigation, I've already created a couple of messages that are in the system and pending. If a message has not sent, it will show in yellow. If it has already sent, it will show in green. And you'll see some summary information here about the messages that were created. So you can see it reflects open. You gave it a name of Wellness Check 1. It was a voice message with two recipients. It has a scheduled send date of March 31st, and it shows that it's not sent yet. After a message has been sent, it would show you how many minutes it took and what the charge would be for that. Let's create a new message by clicking on the blue Create New Message button. What that does now is it keeps us in the same view, but it added two more columns. So you can see here a message that says Creating a New Message, and we have Step 1 and Step 2. Step 1 is to add your recipients. So we're simply going to add a recipient here by clicking Add More. And I'm going to look for the recipient I want by looking for part of the first name and part of the last name. And I find here Deb, and you can see here the people that don't have phone numbers will not show. I'm going to select Deb, and the information is now loaded for her, and you can see both of her phone numbers were loaded, and this is by default. If you don't want her to receive the message at both of those phone numbers, you can easily delete either one of them. I'm going to delete the second one because I'm only going to have it go to her. You can continue to add more people by clicking the Add More button. So as you do so, it will just continue to add those people to the list. So this is how you can easily add more people to the list. As you look to Step 2, this is where you create the message itself. And help text will scroll and be visible to you at the top of the page. As you see there, max 30 characters. This is a short reference name for the message. And as you scroll over these fields, it gives you that kind of help at the top of the page. So I'm going to just give this a name. And then I'm not going to send this to a specific group. So even though I did add mores here, you can actually choose to look at all of the groups you have defined for your account, and you can actually pick a group that you want to add to that list as well. So if I were to click on the advisory group here, there's 2 people in that group. It would add those people. And one of the things too it does is it only puts if a person has a phone number, it only puts that number in the list once. So you'd see that person's name in there just one time. I'm going to schedule this to send today, but I'd like it to send later in the day. And the reason I do that is because I have the option of recording this message with my own voice or having the machine read it to an individual. I often recommend that it's best to voice record if you can, because it really personalizes the message. But if you want it to be machine read, you can do so. And we're going to put in our message content. So even though we're doing a voice recorded message, we are going to type in the content, because at a certain point here after we save this message, the system will tell us, here's a telephone number where you can go record your message. So I've entered my message here. Hello, this is the Mason Senior Center with our second wellness check. We will ask you 3 questions that you can respond to using your phone keypad. The questions will follow this message. And while you're typing in your message, you can actually make this input area larger by just grabbing that corner. So that's what makes this really nice for you to type in your message, even if it's going to be voice recorded. Now, one of the nice features here with voice recording is you can, in addition to having a message that is read to the individual, you can ask them questions. You don't have to, but you can ask them questions. So in this particular situation, we're reaching out to people to ask them 3 wellness questions. And I'm going to add them here under the question area. Are you feeling well? Do you need assistance of any kind? Is assistance needed urgently? These questions then will be read to the individual. These will be read in machine. Even if you voice recorded the primary message content, these questions will be read by a nice voice on the machine. And this person will say, are you feeling well? Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no, or press 3 to hear the question again. And so the person at home receiving this message will press 1 or 2 on their keypad, and that will be stored with this message. So with that now in mind, I've got the whole details created. I've got recipients. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And now this message has been saved successfully. And what it does here is, because I asked for voice recording, it says action recording is needed. And so it tells me that I can call this phone number and record my message using the following PIN code. So that's exactly what you would do. You would call that message and follow the prompts to record the message that you had created here. So it's that simple in terms of how to create your message. The message that the recipient will hear, in addition to the text that you have here, the very first thing that they're going to hear is the following message is from your center. The message will replay, but you can hang up at any time. And then the message content that you have is going to be read, and then they repeat it as needed. Now let's take a look at what a finished message, a finished recorded message, and one that has already been delivered to recipients will look like, because we provide you status of that for your easy viewing and understanding as to whether or not the person received it. Here is an example of a voice message that was sent out. It's just got some test information in it, but you can see here it changed to green, it was sent, it says how long it had for minutes, what the charge for that was. And then the thing to point out here is it had questions in here. And you can see here the answers will show up, yes or no, to those questions. You can see those questions here in the right hand side here. Do you need assistance? Is this urgent? Would you like us to call you back? And if you click on the area here, check means you've actually taken action on the response to that question. If you click on the checkbox or any of these answers here, it takes you to a pop-up screen that shows you the answer, and you can actually track the status of that and close it with a date or reflect it as still work in progress, so that you can actually act upon that particular answer. And within here too, when you add or change the status with various dates on the status that you put in, if you want to add notes for this person in their notes, you can click on Add View Notes, and it will take you to that record for the person where you can update notes and do follow-up dates if that's what you need. So really easy to track the status of those answers. So you're getting yes/no questions answered. We've added this ability for you then to track actions against those yes/no answers and save notes in the actual individual who you are communicating with. And you notice here, once you close it, they all show as green. So that's really easy now to see with respect to this person. You can also, for any individual, you're going to be able to see for that individual all of the messages that they've received. So you do that by going to their person record, and there's a tab there called Messages. And so you can see here all the messages that have been received, what the answer was, the status, and the last status date of that. So you get this nice total view of all of those areas for a particular person, all of the questions, all of the messages, and the status if there were questions involved. So that was a quick view of people messages. Thank you for joining Schedules Plus Tutorials.